Hi, this is Crypto Kevin, where I analyze charts as a swing trader and I biohack my life to live the healthiest way possible and to achieve financial freedom. I believe that XRP, cryptocurrencies in general, but XRP specifically is a ticket to achieve financial freedom like no other. Now, there may be other cryptocurrencies out there that may see greater gains than XRP, but who knows for sure what those are exactly. Now XRP I know they're involved with the IMF, they're involved with the US government and 50 other central banks around the world. They've been working with governments and financial institutions, including the biggest banks, for the last 5 to 7 years or more. I believe there's a plan, and most of it's like top secret. I mean, we know certain things that XRP just had phenomenal gains during the last market cycle in 2017. So it's 69,000 from top to bottom that I've calculated last previously. But what I want to show you today is I just want to talk about market cycles, and by the end of this video you're going to learn how smart money accumulates assets and how they sell them, and take the profits. Now, there's a lot of noise out there, especially on Twitter, from retail investors because people want to see this happen now. They don't want to wait, and that's not what you're going to see from the smart money, from the professional investors and traders. So what I got on the screen right now is called the Wall Street cheat sheet. Now this is something you can just do a Google search for this under images and you should be able to find this. Study this chart. Okay, this applies to the stock market as well, but it also applies very well to the cryptocurrency market, especially Bitcoin, because you have bear markets and bull markets. It's largely around its halving cycle. So, and I'll show you that in just a minute here. But looking at this chart, I think we're somewhere around depression to disbelief. We're in this area right here, somewhere. Not exact. I don't know exactly. I think we're on the verge of something happening, but with XRP, it's hard to tell because this could go sideways, for months still. But the thing you know for sure, if you know that you know, and you really know what you're holding with XRP, you know that eventually it's going to pay off big time. So this is not the time to be selling. So study this chart. In the previous bull markets with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, when you're getting up to the thrill area here and the euphoria especially, you're thinking that it's not ever going to go down. It's just going to keep going up. And it's really hard not to think that. Okay, but what we got to do is we got to be aware of this and think, well, when everybody wants to buy, that's when we want to sell. Okay, and also what you don't really want to do is you don't want to hold your asset until you get over the peak and then keep going down, and then then you're into anxiety, then you're in denial, then you're into panic, and then a lot of retail investors sell in this area and they lose. That's how they lose. They buy at the top when everybody's in euphoria and then they sell at the bottom. Okay, so obviously we want to buy as low as possible down in this area and then sell around the top. Now it's easier said than done. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how to do that and how we're going to take advantage of this next bull market and try to get out near the top. Now, a lot of people have different theories and price targets, and if you're expecting one that's way too high, and then and the next all-time high on this next cycle is much lower, then of course you're going to end up riding it to the bottom. Maybe not. Maybe you'll sell it in here somewhere when you realize that, hey, we've reached the peak. But we're going to use Bitcoin as the thermometer to know when the cycle for XRP is nearing its end. So before I get into that, though, I wanted to talk about accumulation. When do the smart money buy? When it's at the bottom, obviously, right? Looking back at the cheat sheet here, at here, the point of maximum financial opportunity is at the bottom of the cycle, obviously, and then to sell around the top. So the bottom is the time to be buying. So I got drawn on here an XRP chart, a daily chart, and this is a Wyckoff accumulation chart. So on this chart here, you see after the 2018 peak, we went into the selling climax down here. Then we had a secondary test, then an automatic rally, and this was an exceptionally big automatic rally. It made this range accumulation zone very large. Then we had a very long phase B that was mostly sideways, trending down. Then we had a secondary test in phase B. Then we had another sort of fake out here in around the 1st of 2020, and then came the corona panic, and then we had lows in all the cryptocurrencies. And I'm pretty 99% sure that this is the low. That was the event that caused all the markets to crash. So that time was to buy the most XRP or any other asset, really. Cryptocurrencies I'm talking about. The ones that we know they're going to be successful. This was the optimum time to buy it. But you know what smart money does? They buy slowly over time in this whole zone. They don't buy it all at once. You don't know. I don't know if anybody really knew what the bottom is in XRP or Bitcoin for that matter either. Well, maybe some knew, but most of them are not sharing. Those people, the real smart money, are not out there advertising on Twitter and whatnot, unless they, unless they're selling a newsletter and it's in the, they're not publicly available for free. However, okay, so this zone here is the best time to be buying XRP, and as you can see by this angle on this trend, this channel, we're still at the bottom of this channel, so it's still a good time to be accumulating XRP in the long run. So I don't know if this is gonna when this is gonna take off, or if it's in the next weeks or months. But I suspect that it's got to be by April of 2021. And I'm thinking about David Schwartz when Brad Kimes asked him at the Swell conference in 2019 about whether XRP price is going to rise quickly or rise slowly. He said that the price has to rise quickly so that investors don't catch on. Now, one thing I can take from that, or two things really. One thing is that they really don't want retail investors to catch on when this thing is going to explode. That's one. And I'm sure some of the insiders they know timing, or maybe it's event based. When a certain event happens, well, okay, then that's the trigger for when it's go time. However, as far as I know, nobody knows the real time that has the ability to share it, because it's probably top secret information. Okay. If we look at 2017, when we saw the explosion in price that went from top to bottom, 69,000%. Well, it's as an investor, it's going to be really impossible if you're just accumulating over time in this area here. For example, if you're around then, but in this case, we're going to be accumulating in this area from the chart that I just showed you. Okay. All right. So, but I just took like the average here near the bottom, and then the average around the top. It's going to be near impossible to sell at the exact top. As I talked about the euphoria earlier, knowing exactly when it's going to stop, because it's going to seem like it's just going to go forever and not stop. So trying to time the top is just nearly impossible. So what you're going to want to do is, sell around the top. Okay? And that can be a matter of just days. As you can see, this is a 3-day chart. But I mean, 3, 6, 9 days here, it reached the very peak. So, so you're just going to have to be able to read the tea leaves and everything to be able to sell around the top. So I took the average here around the top, and so we saw like a 38,000% gain, and that's going to be if you bought down here, your average buy was around 0.7 cents here, and then your average sell was around whatever this $2.80. That would have been very good, and that's what we're going to strive for this bull market cycle. Well, that was like a 383 increase. Okay, so we're going to try to apply that to the next bull market. And I'm going to go over here to BTC real quick to show you on the Brave New Liquid Index, to show you the the Bitcoin long-term Bitcoin chart. So I can show you how we can use it as a barometer. So I'm going to go to log mode. Okay, because the green line, the vertical green lines are for the halving dates, and you can see how there's a period after you saw the peak of that bull market, and then a period before the next one where there was a bear market. So, and like I've shown last time, taking a Fibonacci measurement here of the peak of the bull market to the following bear market, and showing the peak of this following bull market was around 34 Fibonacci's. And you do that to the next one, then it was around 17. So it's about half is what we're seeing here on Bitcoin. So, and that's also called diminishing returns. It's not going to have the same gains as the previous cycle. Okay, it's going to go up, keep going up until it until it starts going down, and then but we haven't achieved world adoption yet, so we haven't reached the peak. But Bitcoin is not where it's at. That's not where we're going to see the most gains. Okay, there are going to be good gains compared to stock market and anything else, any other gains you can get out there. And I'm looking around mid 2022, because of these cycles. The bull market keeps expanding, or it has in the last two previous ones. So I expanded that much more on the next cycle. So I'm thinking about that time is where we're going to see a peak, and like the last time we saw XRP peak, a couple of weeks after Bitcoin peaked over here. So a lot of that money could go right back into XRP, and that before it peaks, and that might be the trigger. So I mean, the very peak of XRP. So all that's going to be very tough to tell. So we're going to have to be very fluid in that situation. I have a target of I've given on my last video of about $120. You know, it may not quite reach that. I mean, if you're holding out to $120 and it only gets to, you know, $85, for example, well, you might miss it and end up selling way lower because it can go down quite rapidly. So knowing that, we are going to try to sell around the top of this thing here. Okay, we're not going to panic because usually there's a opportunity. You know, when you get a big leg down, you know, it's going to come back up. So you don't want to sell down here, you know, preferably. So usually you're going to get a second chance. Like in this right here, you had a few days, took about a week to get to this point, and then you had another leg up. Okay, so that's usually in Elliott wave called a B wave. You know, that this may be the B wave here, but you know, all you can do is the best you can do, and we're going to use all the tools to take to our advantage to try to capture the top and get around the top. Okay, my plan is to sell a portion. We know it's going to get past the last all-time high. That's really, I mean, unless you're buying and reaccumulating, and you're probably better off unless you're a day trader, just holding it, you know. And we're holding it past the last all-time high, and we're definitely going to go, you know, at least to $15 here. And I'm not even going to start selling to around $25, to be honest with you, and then 50, and then 75, and then around 100. Okay, those aren't the exact numbers, and I don't have all those XRP waiting on the exchanges to sell it right now. I'm at to pull them out on the day that I intend to sell, and I would encourage you to do the same. Store your XRP, most of your XRP, 90% on your ledger. You know, you may have some that you want to trade just for fun, just to learn how to trade, and try to accumulate more XRP that way. But you want to keep it off the exchanges, most of it, until you're ready to sell, because just in case something happens, an exchange goes down, gets hacked or something like that, you don't want to lose everything you have. And I would highly recommend Ledger. That's what I have. And if you would like to, if you need to get a Ledger, please use my link down below in the description. And if you're going to buy it, might as well. I get, you know, a small commission on that, and I would appreciate that. But I'm going to be updating you in the future as we go along. I'm not doing a day trading. We're not trying to make small gains, 1 cent gains on a daily basis. I'm a swing trader, so that means I look for the buy in the lows area, and I'm going to sell in the high area. I'm not doing the daily things. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please consider giving me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.